Hey, I'm Matt Nichols at MrMaple.com. Today we have a special video for anybody who's ever trolled us in the comments below. Just kidding, but today's topic is Ginkgo Biloba troll. So this is the best troll on the internet, and you can find it at MrMaple.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Nichols from MrMaple.com. We greatly appreciate you taking a minute to watch this video. Please take a minute and like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any comments, post those in the comment section below. We definitely check those out. Also, make sure you're subscribed to our weekly emails on MrMaple.com. We add 10 new fun, exciting trees every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's something you'll definitely want to check out.
So we love Ginkgo Biloba troll for its small, compact habit. This is a plant that's going to bring a lot of interest in the fall especially. You're going to get that green in the spring and the summer. It's very consistent on that, very durable and very sun tolerant. But what's exceptional about this tree is you're going to get that fall color, that bright yellow that everybody loves about ginkgos, but in this nice small palette. So troll really brings the color, but it's exceptional in that fall time.
Troll is an excellent dwarf ginkgo for small spaces. It gives you that phenomenal fall color that Matt was talking about, that school bus yellow, but it will get about 3 to 4 feet tall by about 3 to 4 foot wide in 10 years. This makes it such a great tree to use in the landscape and garden.
Hey, thanks, Tim. Ginkgo Biloba troll has so many great uses because of that small shape he was talking about. This is a tree that's going to go in place of any of your larger ginkgos, but where you want a smaller specimen and you still want that exceptional characteristics that only ginkgos provide. So this is a great tree for a focal point planting. It's a great tree for the small conifer garden. We use it to accentuate Japanese maples because those fall colors are going to be excellent next to those reds and oranges of Japanese maples. Those yellows of ginkgos are unparalleled for the fall color. So it's going to be a great tree to complement those plants. This tree also works great in the container garden. So this is an exceptional plant for the patio planter or, just for the deck planter that you want to bring up close to the house, bring those fall colors back to the porch. It's an exceptionally durable plant for that setting as well. Now, ginkgos are very salt tolerant, so it's also going to provide you with some great salt tolerancy if you're in an area where that's of concern. So many great uses. Paramount among those are the durability of ginkgos. Ginkgos are some of the toughest plants that have ever existed, and they're going to go out in your landscape and do great.
So Ginkgo Biloba troll is salt tolerant, heat tolerant, pollution tolerant, drought tolerant of almost anything. If you've got a black thumb, it's probably tolerant of you as well. This is such an easy tree to grow. Main thing is give it some lime. The other thing is make sure you give it at least 4 hours of sunlight. Whenever you give a ginkgo 4 hours of sunlight, it's going to really do well for you out in the landscape and garden. When you plant a ginkgo in too much shade, it'll often be a lot thinner than as if you plant it in full sun. So keep that in mind when you're planting your troll in your garden. Ginkgo Biloba troll is a male grafted ginkgo. This means that it will not produce fruits. That makes it excellent because a lot of people don't want the female selections, and the people who do want the female selections specifically want those. Any ginkgo on our website that is listed as a male ginkgo is a male grafted clone that's noted for not producing those fruits. So that's something that you'll definitely want to make sure you're getting. And they all say on our website when you go to them, male or female, the majority of ones we offer on our website are all male grafted clones. And that's exactly what you'll want in your garden.
So here we have an up-close look at Ginkgo Biloba troll. Love this cupped foliage. You can see on the new growth, it all kind of curls upward. Just gives it a real regal appearance, almost looks more frilly. But it's a super durable plant, but it just gives it a little bit more something to that foliage. It certainly gives it a more elegant approach overall to the leaves.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you get that cupped foliage. The new growth, you can get your more traditional ginkgo maidenhair foliage, but that older foliage on troll just cups more, which you get that on a lot of witch's broom varieties of ginkgo trees.
Yeah, very dense texture to it, as you can tell. This is one that's going to be tightly layered in its growth, so it's going to be very full. You can see all the branching here is very tight and narrow, so that means your bud sets are very close together.
Yeah, the fall color on this, it's outstanding. It's that bright school bus yellow that everyone loves with the ginkgo trees. Ginkgos are just underutilized in the landscape, especially the dwarfs.
They're super tough. We have this one right outside of Hillstone Arboretum, which is our Uncle Glenn's house, if you've ever toured our nursery during any of our open houses. And this is one that's actually backed up against a rock wall. And it's getting a lot of radiating heat here, but it's super durable. So ginkgos are typically great plants for some of those hard to garden areas.
So bro, what's your favorite thing about Troll?
You know, it's a great plant overall, but I have to say the name really brings something extra to it. You know, kids are really fun to get in the garden. I have 2 little girls. They love anything with that enchanted kind of name, and Troll fits that perfectly. Troll feels like something that you're going to interact with in the garden, and it's a great way to get kids into gardening. Because of that name Troll, it's something that the kids are going to go check on. I mean, I have a 4-year-old. If I tell her there's a troll in the garden, she wants to go see it, she wants to water it, she wants to care for it. And that's exactly what I did with one of my nieces. I gave her, she was 13, and she said, I want one of these trolls. And so I gave her one, and it gave her, an excuse to get out in the yard and water it, take care of it, and just something she could interact with. And maybe it opened a door for her to get into a little bit more planting and maybe some woody ornamentals and things like that. So I think it's a great way to get kids into planting if you're a grandparent or a parent and you just want something fun to do with them. I think simply that name alone, Troll, it just gives it a little something extra. Feels like the kids can really interact with it in the garden.
Yeah, ginkgos are extremely hardy out in the landscape. They're really underutilized. Dwarf ginkgos especially. You'll see people starting to really utilize more taller upright ginkgos out in city landscapes. The dwarf selections are excellent for the garden, and Troll fits that, perfectly. Just has that little dwarf compact habit. I like it just because it's so unique. It was likely found as a dwarf witch's broom. We don't know the exact history behind it, but if you do, post that in the comment section. We love figuring this stuff out because Troll is an amazing plant. But it's likely found as a witch's broom, which is a dwarf mutation that's sometimes found in some of those larger types. Looks almost like a little squirrel's nest, and then you can take that, graft it, and then you've got a little dwarf miniature version of the tree for the landscape and garden.
So all these that we offer are grafted. They're a low graft typically. Troll is one that's actually great for bonsai. You heard us mention for container culture. Well, this makes a great tree for bonsai because of that small compact shape. And they're very low grafts as well, so they clean up very well. Ginkgo are very hard to even find where the graft are in a few years because it cleans up so easily. But this is one that will make an excellent selection for a bonsai or a small container garden. Tim, what do you think about the durability of just ginkgos in general?
Ginkgos are one of the hardiest plants you can grow. Salt tolerant, pollution tolerant, heat tolerant, drought tolerant. They're hardy in all aspects, which means you can put them in almost any situation as long as you give them some lime and about 4 hours of sunlight.
Yeah, it's a prehistoric plant, so it's something that's been around for a very long time. It's actually one of the oldest living fossil records that's still around today. I joke with native plant people, I say, this one, we have some fossil records here in Hendersonville of this plant living here. So I don't know how long you want to go for a native plant, but it is one that's been around and has actually grown here natively before. So a really cool plant just for that kind of prehistoric element. And that plays into some of the appeal to kids as well, as it kind of feels like something that might have been around a dinosaur. It kind of has that majestic quality to it.
Looks like something a dinosaur would munch on almost.
Maybe. They're actually really durable. There's not a lot of natural pests to ginkgo.
Yeah, they're deer resistant, but the leaves are actually edible for humans. You can actually make a herbal tea out of them. People will often take some leaves off, dry them, and then you can make a tea out of it. You can Google that about how to make the herbal teas from ginkgos. Maybe find some YouTube videos on it. We might shoot one sometime later about how to make herbal tea from ginkgos. But this is a great dwarf ginkgo that you can make ginkgo tea out of a container plant. So you can have a container plant out on your patio or on your deck if you're in an apartment and still be able to make that ginkgo tea.
So very animal resistant. If you have a stegosaurus or like a brontosaurus, it may be an issue, but nothing really that munches on it too much. I think it's gonna be a plant that's gonna accentuate so many other plants in your garden. Ginkgos are known for that fall color. And we often say that, everybody gets in the fall and they say it's pumpkin spice latte season. Well, forget all that, it's ginkgo season, because once your neighbors see a ginkgo in your garden, that's all they're gonna want to talk about, because it is a show point in the garden. I get emails every year where people say, I drove by this in the neighborhood, what's going on? And it's typically a ginkgo in perfect fall color, because when they hit that peak, I mean, they're exceptional in the fall color. And Troll's no exception to that. It's going to be exquisite, bright yellow. And so it's going to complement any of your red Japanese maples, oranges, deep dark conifers. So it's really going to stand out in that garden, but it's going to put a really highlight or spark of color in that fall season.
And the other thing, like I mentioned earlier, that we get lots of emails about is the growth rate of ginkgos. Obviously, there's different for different grafted cultivars, but for each cultivar, the more lime you give it, the better and fuller and denser it's going to look, and at least 4 hours of sunlight to full sunlight on the ginkgos.
What would you say is your favorite ginkgo or grouping of ginkgos? I'm probably leading you in the question by asking that, but what would you say is one of your favorite ginkgos you've ever seen in person?
Favorite ginkgos I've ever seen in person? Probably the ginkgos from Iko Namaki Avenue in Japan.
Yeah, I was gonna steal that one if you didn't. That's why I said or grouping of ginkgos. We got to go to Ginkgo Alley when we were in Tokyo, and maybe we'll do a video on that at some point. You know, I need to learn to do some editing on that to do it justice, because it was just exquisite. But I think that'll be something fun we can maybe tease you with this fall, is just when we got to go to that alley there. And maybe we'll throw a photo of it in here just so you can see what it looks like. But we'll maybe do a whole video on that at some point. But just really highlights what ginkgos can be in fall color.
Yeah, Ginkgo Alley in Tokyo is one of the most prominent ginkgo plantings in the world. It's known everywhere. When we went out there were tons of people just shooting videos with the ginkgos in fall color. It was crazy.
Yeah.
We'll definitely throw some photos in this after this so you can
I'll
tell
point
about
out that wasn't even one specific cultivar. Those were all shaped. So ginkgo are very malleable in that you can shape them. They're very easy to impose your will upon for what you want as a shape. Now this is going to be one that's going to be naturally dwarf on its own. So if you're wanting a nice compact habit, this is the way to start out, because they're very easy to change the shapes of. So if you're wanting that dense habit already, you know, you don't have to recreate the wheel. Start out with something that's already going to lend itself very well to a compact dense habit, and it just makes everything easier going forward. You're not trying to trim a 40-foot tall tree into a small plant. You can keep a small plant small.
And ginkgos also will hold their leaves on till about the same time, about 24 to 48 hour window. They'll drop all the leaves in fall color to the ground, which is amazing on a huge tree. I remember seeing some at the temple in Japan, just the yellow just carpeting the floor.
Yeah.
But also on a dwarf, it does the same thing, where you'll just have a nice little yellow carpet underneath it.
Yeah, one of my favorite times to photograph ginkgo are when the leaves are half fallen off. They just have that little carpet, like you're saying, right below them. It's just bright golden, and you know, ginkgo leaves are just fun. You can pick them up, you can play with them. You'll see some on MrMaple that Tim's drawn pictures on before. So yeah, they're just a fun plant to have. That's probably on the Mr. Ginkgo Facebook page, but definitely check that out too if you like ginkgo content. We have Mr. Ginkgo-trees on Instagram and MrGinkgo.com on Facebook. So if you just are a huge fan of the ginkgos and want more of that, that's a place where you can get ginkgo specific content. Hey, thanks for taking a quick look at Ginkgo Biloba Troll. This is a tree that's going to go out, give you exceptional durability, but also those great fall colors of a ginkgo, all in a smaller palette. We think this is one you're really going to enjoy in your landscape. One of the easiest tips we always give for gardening with ginkgos is to lime your ginkgos. Give them some pelletized garden lime. We can actually do it in the spring, summer, and the fall. It's going to increase the girth of your ginkgo and really improve the overall health of the tree. A lot of people say my ginkgo grows fast or my ginkgo grows slow, and it actually all has to do with the alkalinity of the soil. So remember, pelletized garden lime will do great for your ginkgo. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and God bless.
If you're still watching at this point, in the comment section below, comment your favorite way to use a ginkgo tree in your garden. think this will be interesting. I think some people might find some real fun and interesting things that people might do.